week. There's a motion to adopt. We'll entertain that.
Mr. Chair,
Is that where I
Mr. Chair, I
messed
so
up?
move that we accept.
second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are adopted. Ms. Standridge, at the risk of jinxing it, this looks like the kind of committee meeting we want to have. There's $25 million coming in.
Well, there's $25 million
Please.
already in.
Do tell.
Oh, wow.
So this is nothing new. This is something you know about. This is the in this last legislative session, the Alabama State Legislature awarded $25 million in various avenues to invest in the building and development of the STEM hub at the Savings Center, the state STEM hub at the Savings Center. That $25 million has been received from all the various parties, and so therefore we are proposing a budget revision to recognize the inflow of that $25 million and then to increase the project budget for the Savings Center by that same $25 million. That's item number one of a three-part budget revision. But I can entertain questions on that before I move on.
Let's pause there. Let's digest that 25 million first. All right, so it's coming in from multiple.
Well, two different. So from $8 million was awarded through the University of Alabama. We have received that from the university, and then the other 18 million was awarded through the Department of Education, State Department of Education, and that was transferred as well.
And what do we do with that, and how long do we expect to have it?
So this is for both professional services and construction, and so I would not anticipate expending any of these dollars probably until at least mid 2024.
And what do we do with it in the interim?
We have solicited bids and
I assume it's corralled so that we cannot use it for anything other than those purposes, right?
it's in a CD right now. Yes,
It's
sir.
in a CD?
Yes,
The
sir.
whole 25?
The whole 25 million,
At what rate?
5.25%.
Okay.
Good.
And again, I would like to this is not any of my doing. I would like to brag on the staff, the A&F staff for just 1 second. The accounting and financial reporting division, and especially the treasury section within that, literally had bidding wars going on with banks, and we're entertaining.
I'm
and
very glad to hear
negotiating.
that. So we put out the notice, hey, got 25 million, what's your offer?
Honestly, we didn't even have to do that. The banks were aware that we were getting this money in.
Oh, wow.
But we had multiple submissions of, you can get this much for a CD for this term.
And in fact, we had three major players, and in fact, we would get one bid in, and then we would go back to the other two saying, we got this one. Would anybody else like to?
Oh, that just warms my heart. It puts a bounce in my step and a song in my heart.
That's why we're here.
Truly, Savannah Hornsby.
That takes it.
Savannah Hornsby is the director of accounting and financial reporting, and then Corey Folds is the associate director that heads up the treasury sector. The two of them together do amazing work when it comes to our cash and investment policy, and they have truly taken advantage of these interest rates that we've been seeing that have not been, and both of them are young enough to not have been around when interest rates were decent previously, and so they have just kind of taken their knowledge and grown it as much as they can throughout this time. Truly very proud of that whole sector.
Yeah, gentlemen,
Mr.
questions,
Chairman,
comments?
can I
Yeah,
ask a
please, go ahead.
So does that interest money just come back to us at the end of the CD when we pull it?
Yeah, when the CD matures, we will recognize the interest revenue from it.
So I'm assuming a year, we put a year on it or what?
Yeah, so yes, next, I think that it's set to sunset next August.
So that's roughly $1.25 million.
1.3 is our estimate right now.
Good.
Now, and we can pull it without any penalty. Of course, we will negate the interest amount, but yes.
And we're not budgeting any of that towards the Savings Center construction because we don't want it spent before we go to bids. We would like to have that interest as backstops. Just, we all know, we don't know the price to bid that.
Probably smart.
But if you went ahead and budgeted that, I got a feeling it would be spent. Unfortunately, that's I think y'all.
Lock it up. Lock it up. All right, so then do you want to move down? So that's the first part.
Yes, sir.
There's 13.6 in there.
So currently the Saban Center project itself has amassed, over the years, 13.6 million. That includes the property acquisition. So when we bought the Tuscaloosa News Building at $8 million, that's in there too. And then the professional services contracts between Volkert and Davis Architects, that's also in there as well.
Okay, so those, some
That's
little,
all that's in
the
there, right?
13.6,
Those three pieces.
is that money that's already
There-
been spent or money that's still there to be?
There's a certain amount that's still in there to be spent, but it's fully encumbered.
Okay.
We've awarded contract, like the Davis contract really has taken up all of the available room in our current budget amounts. No, sir, Mr. Crowe, to answer your question, there's more than just like those three main components in there. There was, in the very beginning, we had an architectural contract with Ellis to do some planning. We had a geotech contract with TTL that, those are smaller amounts that are in there.
Those are the big three.
But those are the
What
big
makes-
three,
yeah.
yes, sir.
See, that Volker contract was 2.7, wasn't it? 2 points.
I thought it was 4.
I think, I think the last amendment, it's been increased to about, not to exceed 4.2.
4.2. That's right.
Okay. All right, so are we gonna go through all three parts of this?
Yes, sir,
warrant?
I'd like
You wanna
to.
move on? Gentlemen, y'all wanna move on
That's
to the
fine.
next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the B section of this is all the machinations to create the funding necessary for the Snow Hinton Park item. I know that has been presented to Finance Committee over the past couple of weeks and debated a little bit. So the pieces of that are $500,000 of that Saban Center amount can be moved to the River District Fund. We're not defunding the project, we're just kind of moving where that money sits. Interest income that we are projecting for Elevate Fund as a whole, about $600,000 for the projected 2024 fiscal year. The change of timing in the budget for University Boulevard corridor improvements, about $2 million, and then increasing the Snow Hinton Park project by $3.1 million to be able to award contract.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
This is based on what we approved in projects last week, which was fully funding with all of the additives and addendum, everything, right? So
Correct.
if it comes back to us that we're gonna reduce some stuff, right, like what we talked about, when that comes back, will that, how will that play out? Will that come, is there one place that you'll take those deducts from, or how? Or will you just have to look at that and figure out what's best?
And I would say yes, that's probably the direction that we would go with it. If we come back with value engineering, I'm assuming is what you're talking about,
Yes.
and we decide to decrease the project.
Well, we cut a couple of alternates that
cut a
would,
couple
and
of
we'll probably do that
alternates.
too.
Normally, the way that this would play out is you'll cut the alternate and you'll decrease the contract amount, but the project budget would remain. Unless directed otherwise by council, we would leave that 3.1 million in the project, possibly for overruns, contingency.
Until you finish it and then close it.
Until we finish it, and we'll do project closeout, and that would just flow back into contingency of the fund.
And then you could decide where the money would go. somewhere else
Correct.
If it needed to be, if there's money left over.
Right.
It should be. We hope.
I believe it.
I believe so too. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No, please, go ahead. Mr. Wilson, any questions?
No.
So, Ms. Tendry, as we move down through that middle section there, I'm sorry, this is the accounting. So, in the center column under proposed revision, we've got 500,000 in parentheses. That's us taking 500,000 previously expected for Central River District Park, right?
No, so that $500,000 was originally to the Saban Center out of Elevate.
Okay,
There is capacity in the River District Fund to be able to absorb that $500,000 as it sits right now. It's just been kind of sitting in a contingency amount. So the River District Fund can be used to pay for the Saban Center, but it cannot be used to pay for Snow Hinton Park. And so we can move the funding amount, this 500,000, out of the Saban Center Elevate and into the Saban Center River District Fund. It's just a matter of where the budget sits.
Okay. So the next line, the interest income checking, 600,000 in parenthesis, that's removing 600,000 from where?
No, sir. So that's actually adding to a revenue line.
So that's us now recognizing that 600,000 of expected 24 income, right?
Yes, sir. Correct. And I realize that there's parentheses around it, and that's an accounting thing because revenues are an increase in revenues is always denoted in parens. I know that it's confusing that way, but if you'll look on the left-hand side of that little table where it says decrease, increase, decrease, increase, you'll see what we're actually doing to the line item. So we're increasing the interest income by 600,000.
Where do we show that is coming from? Because my understanding was that 600,000 had not shown in the 24 budget, right?
Right. So, you know, when we earn interest income, we have not budgeted for it in the past. In the recent past. Because in the recent past, there was no interest income that we were really earning. Only within the last few months has there really been an environment where we can recognize a lot of interest income coming in. And so to be as conservative as possible, who knows what the market's going to create in the next few months? We have not budgeted interest income except minutely in certain areas. And this is one area because I do know that we need to have funding capacity for the Snow Hinton Park. And again, trying to be as conservative as possible in what we do think we could bring in. That 600,000 is what, again, that Treasury division within our accounting and financial reporting group, they've said that they feel comfortable being able to project. I actually think it might, if rates stay the way they're doing, it might be more.
I think 4.25 is what I believe Ms. Chief told us. Kind of was what they did the math on, so we should be more there. But my question was simply so where do you, when we're moving it over to help cover the overage in Snow Hinton Park, do we have to show it coming out of someplace?
No, we never created it to begin with.
Okay.
And so we're just increasing a revenue that we didn't budget for. We hoped it will come in. We still hope it will come in. But so we're just creating a budget for it now because we know that we need capacity in the project.
Okay. The next line, I think I understand. That's pushing out expenses not expected to occur in
Until 2026, I believe.
26, is it?
That's the plan, yes, sir.
Okay. Gentlemen, any other questions on what is effectively part 2 of this revision? Okay. Part 3.
Okay, and then part 3 is within Elevate. Also, there were some improvements to City Hall facility for the Saban Center, and those came in approximately 28,000 over budget, and so we are pulling 28,000 from contingency to create or to level up that work.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions? So these offices, while they're for the Saban Center Foundation, they're a part of the physical facility of City Hall.
Once they move to the new facility in late 25 or early 26, then at that point, as part of our facilities master plan, they will be reused or redirected for other departments. But it's been a big part of our foundation fundraising and the work that's been done by the Saban Center itself.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions, comments? I think that wraps up the 3 portions of that budget revision. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item is approved. Number 2, 2018 drinking water SRF budget revision number 9.
Yes, sir. This item will be project closeout for the Lake Tuscaloosa aerator valve. There was approximately $95,000 in savings in that project. The last remaining priority project under the 2018 SRF is the Ed Love raw water upgrade, and so we were taking it out of the project closeout amount, and then we're putting it into the Ed Love Raw Water project to add to that project capacity.
All right, gentlemen, any questions, comments? Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Item is approved. Is there any other business to be brought before Finance Committee today? Not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.